Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. We're recording this interview as a part of the Unileco project as a dissemination tool so that our partners, we can share our learning with our partners in this project. I'm sure many of the partners already know who you are, but still, I request you to give a short introduction about yourself. Yeah.
So my name is Stefanie Reiner. I work for ISOB and the Institute for Social Science in Germany in Regensburg. And I'm part of the Unileco project. I'm working as a digital coach because, I'm basically partner of the business side and also kind of the university side because I'm also doing my PhD project in a university. And I try to cooperate with multipliers from social companies.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So, as a digital coach, can you describe the target group that you've worked with as a part of this project? And what is that target group made of? Like, what kind of people and what is their background?
So the main target group I worked with was people with disabilities and different kind of disabilities. So physical disabilities, but also psychological or mental disabilities. Um, and I did not work directly with them. I only worked with basically the educators and the supporters
Mm-hmm.
of this, the social partner. It's called KJF-Werkstätte. And this KJF-Werkstätte is basically an employer for people with disabilities. And beside the working, they also get education over there and also some leisure activities. So it's much more.
Mm-hmm.
And they find support from educators and basically also not only educators, also people who support their working processes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they have the opportunity to be part of the labor market, first of all, and also get in contact with other people. So it's also kind of a social institution and to feel like part of society and also having like colleagues and friends, to find friends over there
Mm-hmm.
with people maybe who have similar difficulties. Um, and it's interesting because we worked with this organization already some years ago. And the main idea in this first cooperation was about making videos, like a image video of each of the subsidiary of this
Mm-hmm.
KJF-Werkstätte. And this time we had the task to basically create videos for the onboarding processes or the informal learning processes. So
Mm-hmm.
while these people are working, of course, they sometimes need assistance from the educators and also from their colleagues. And the educators thought, so maybe it would be interesting to give them media so they can self-help themselves and
Mm-hmm.
to also build up media competencies. And this is what I did. I was cooperating with these multipliers, with the educators, and to get to know the digital life world of the people with certain disabilities, especially with the focus on their profession in
Mm-hmm.
this company.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. Since the target group consists of individuals with a varied set of disabilities, and they have their unique challenges. So, how do you approach them as a digital coach? What is your approach to, working with them?
So I'm a friend of agile methods. Everyone knows this already. So I think it's very much important to emphasize with the learners. So in this term, with the people with disabilities, and to get to know their life world.
Mm-hmm.
So in this workplace they have, what kind of things do they need to learn? What are their abilities to learn? Are their needs to learn? And how can digital media or videos, for example, help them to increase their employability, but also to help them maybe for quality management. So often they work with machineries. And sometimes, of course, there are quality measures they need to take. And for this specific event, it could be also helpful to use media because then they, for example, watch the media and they can help themselves and don't need an educator for the quality assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be one of it. So I think it's very much important to get to know the people, to get to know the environment of the people. And if I have analyzed this and emphasized, so I think it's very much important to emphasize with the people and not like being on an eye level and not looking above them or something like this. I think this is very much important. So yeah, high valuable media is going to be created from this perspective.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when it comes to this, the target group, what are some challenges when it comes to digitalization that they encounter, and what are some possible solutions to help them with these challenges?
So specifically with this organization, this KJF-Werkstätte, it's like this, that, and also because of the vulnerable target group of people with disabilities, their workplace is very specific on the
Mm-hmm.
person, because a person who has disabilities is very much individual compared to people who
Yeah.
don't have disabilities. And this is why it's not only enough to look into a group of people, because they are also building teams. Each individual in the team is very individual, and this is why you really need to check out the specific workplace, what they are doing over there. So basically, the media which need to be created for these people is very personalized, which
Mm-hmm.
in general, when we think about digital education and yeah, when researchers talk about it, it's interesting because over there they often say it's very important to personalize learning. This is
Mm-hmm.
why it's interesting, but it's also challenging, because
Mm-hmm.
you really need to have a really in-depth analysis to understand how the environment works, how the person works, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Another challenge is that people with disabilities, they need other kind of media. It needs to be more barrier-free and accessible. And
Mm-hmm.
during the Unileco project, we really try to understand this kind of media production, so the inclusive media production. And this means, for example, when you produce a video and you have also some text or audio, um, you really need to use easy language. So this is one part of it. Or if you, for example, create a website, because these videos, they need to be probably put on a website or on YouTube or whatever, the
Mm-hmm.
navigation needs to be very easy to use. So the usability is very important, but this is always important. But when it comes to, yeah, barrier-free media, there are some things which are helpful. So for example, using metadata. So if a
Mm-hmm.
person can't see, for example, it's not helpful when they watch a video because they can't
Yeah.
watch. However, if you try to describe it, what the people can see in this video, this is kind of metadata. The person can still understand what they are watching over there. And this is something which is very much important. Or if you have a text, for example, and the person can't see anything because of his or her disability, you need to have like assistant on the website who is reading it for the person, so they can still use the website. And also the way the content is created, not only the language is important that it's easy, also the way the content is created. It's better to use bullet points or a list, or also the way the images are being used. They need to be very clear and easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when it comes to the font and the contrast, it needs to be a little bit higher, for example, that the people are better having a better way of understanding, or have it easier to understand it. And this is basically something which is challenging for this kind of target group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, nowadays there is a lot of assistive technology which can be used, but yeah, you basically need to get to know the target group to understand what technology they can use to make their digital life world easier.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I think it's a very big opportunity for the society to get to know these kind of people, or to get to know the life world of vulnerable groups. Because when we really understand what kind of challenges they have or barriers they have, we can create yeah, bigger participation in society, and they become, yeah, they get equal, or not only equal, it's equity, I think more
Mm-hmm.
we would maybe say, to the digital life world we have nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is also the opportunity in our project, that we are trying to assess these people on an eye level. Um, Business and university partners like me as a digital coach get in contact with the social partners as a multiplier. They really understand what difficulties the people have, but also what resources they have. And for I can give them basically the tech knowledge or the IT
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, and maybe also some knowledge about media production, so the more media didactic and media education part. And I have the opportunity to see how other people use basically the digital world, which I can use for my, yeah, projects in
Mm-hmm.
business and university, to help the world to get more barrier free for
Yeah.
everyone. So this is what I like. So the opportunity, I think, is really, really great.
That's great. And also, so we've talked about what the challenges are, what the possible solutions are, how this applies for our Unileco project. To wrap it up, what are some key learnings that you would like to, highlight from interacting with this target group as a digital coach for this project?
Hmm. So my first learning for sure is that I always knew it's important to think learner, or to work learner centric, or humans, how do you say, um, human orientated, maybe we say it like this. But I think especially for vulnerable groups, it's even more important to emphasize with the target group, and to really understand what their digital life world is.
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, I think this is one learning, that especially with vulnerable groups, it's much more important. And using these agile and resource orientated approaches can be a really big asset when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
The second learning is that if we want as a society that everyone can participate in the digital world, everyone needs to be part of, needs
Mm-hmm.
to also support this kind of yeah, transition. And this means that we as business and university partners also need to approach these people, and this on an eye level.
Yeah.
So it's not good to make media about them, or for them. It's better to make media with them. And this is what we did with the KJF-Werkstätte.
Mm-hmm.
So me as a coach, I gave the knowledge to the multipliers, but the multipliers, they produce media in cooperation with these people with disabilities. And this is how you also can create media competencies.
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically the second learning. And the third learning is that it's always great to work in these Erasmus Plus project and these European corporations, because it's even though yeah, the European Union has been together for some time now, there are still some really yeah, great differences between the countries. And this is how we can learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see some approaches and good practices from other countries, which we can use, for example, in Germany. And in other cases, maybe we have some good practices and we can also transfer it. And while transferring these good practices, we can better understand what we are doing well. For example, in
Mm-hmm.
Germany with this specific target group. So I also like this kind of reflection process, which the European project offers us with the Erasmus Plus.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me and for answering all these questions. Um, we'll be sharing this video with our group of colleagues, and thank you for taking that time and talking to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.